Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 BMW M340i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this family sedan for me today. Take a look at the website, that link is down in the description below. So this M340 is finished off in mineral white metallic. It has an MSRP just over $64,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's also paired to the mild hybrid system along with the 8-speed automatic. And it pumps out 386 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. This model here is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 3,900 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and it has a top speed up to 180 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons, and you'll expect to see around 27 miles per gallon in the city and 33 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 185.9. It has a width of 71.9 and a height of 56.4 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, this model has the M Sport package, which provides it with all the gloss black accents up front. This also features LEDs for the dark housings, which have a nice design to them. There's a forward-facing camera, as well as active grille shutters behind the grille to provide additional cooling when needed. There's also parking sensors up front, and then a lot of cutouts in that lower section. Definitely gives it a great look with the white and black accents, and there's a few subtle lines that come down the hood to meet the top of that grille surround very nicely. Now this model also has a gloss black set of wheels along with the red M Sport brake calipers. There's also the power folding side mirrors, which are finished off in gloss black. They feature a camera and a turn signal. There's a moonroof up top, and then more gloss black for all of the window trim. You'll notice too, there's some really nice lines in the lower side skirt there going all the way to the back door, as well as a line just above the height of the door handles. And then in back, there's a small gloss black spoiler along with the backup camera, a dark housing for those LEDs. There's also all the parking sensors, and then more gloss black in that lower diffuser, as well as the dual exhaust. Now this does have remote start, so if I just triple tap on the lock button, we can bring this to life. And then you can triple tap that lock button to shut it off as needed. And you can also use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to gain access to the cargo space. Now this model has the power trunk, and you'll notice there's a good bit of storage. Now there's no storage or spare underneath the floor, but you can fold down the back seats, so just pull on those tabs and that will give you a lot more interior space, making this a practical vehicle that you can daily drive. There's also 2 controls up top, so you can close the trunk or lock the vehicle. Now, as you have been hearing, the vehicle's been locking depending on my distance. As I approach the vehicle, it will unlock, and you can also unlock it by using the rear door handles too. Now, this model has a really nice interior. There's a Harman Kardon interior lighting, all of the leather, and then some storage in that lower section. And then all of the black works its way to these seats. Now, as I hop into the back, at 5'10", I'd say there's a good bit of space. You have vents in the middle, along with your temperature adjustments, some auxiliaries too. There's no storage behind the seats, which I do wish was added. But at my height too, even with a hat on, I have about a ½ inch or so of headroom. So for a smaller 3 Series that this is, I can still sit upright and be comfortable. Now right in the middle, there's the armrest, where you also have 2 cup holders, so you can use those as needed. And then you can also fold down this middle seat as well. So if you need a little bit more space, you can do that. And then here's a look at visibility. Pretty large windows with the narrow pillars back there. So it's pretty spacious for this smaller size. Now up front, there's the memory seating adjustments, your window controls, mirror adjustments, trunk release, and additional storage. And then there's the automatic front seats, which do have the 1 manual support, which is the leg support you can see is currently extended at the moment. And then once we hop in, we have the solid leather steering wheel with the flat bottom design to it. Really neat spokes on both sides too. But let's start this up, take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster, you'll notice for this layout, miles per hour is on the left side, tach is on the right. If I use this button over on the right side of the steering wheel, where there's also your volume, tuning, Bluetooth, and voice commands, this is how you can get through the rest of the content. So you can scroll through all of this depending on what you would like to see. And then you can also change the layout too. So you do have two other configurations, again, depending on how you want to view that information. And then you can also go to the head-up display where you can pull up a few settings as needed. So hopefully you can see all of those. Now this is also equipped with the brushed aluminum paddle shifters. Cruise control settings are on the left side there. And then over on this left side, there's no storage down below. You have all of your headlight adjustments, one air vent. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, you have quite a lot to go through. You can go through your phone, as well as all of these icons. You can get into your climate adjustments, exterior, interior lighting. You can also go to home, where you have the navigation and the split screen over on this left side. You have all the climate adjustments. When you turn that on, you can access all of those. There's also navigation and music, and then heated seats, heated steering wheel, and the temperature adjustments. Nice wood trim accent just underneath that, along with some more of the interior lighting with the two air vents. There's power and volume tuning, some defrosters, and then once you open up this lid, wireless charging is in the back. There's also auxiliaries and cup holders, and then you do have adjustments for that infotainment system. So you don't have to use this as a touchscreen system, which is nice. Now if we put this into reverse, we have the 360 camera system for this model, so it has automatic parking as well as the backup assistance. And then you can get into that 3D view, of course, in order to see around the entire vehicle. There's also drive and sport mode along with park. And then traction control, there's even a shortcut to the full forward-facing camera. You have parking sensors, your engine start-stop, and then all of the driving modes. So you can adjust those as needed. It will also change the exhaust note too. There's auto hold and the e-brake, a little bit of storage with some auxiliaries, as well as plenty of storage in the glove box. And then there's garage door buttons up top, along with dome lights and the adjustments for the sunshade and sunroof, as those are both power operating. And then here's a look at visibility. Very easy to see over both shoulders. So as we get behind the wheel now for this M340i, this is the first rear-wheel drive version that I've driven in quite some time. I reviewed an all-wheel drive model a couple weeks ago. I've also been able to compare this with not only the 330i, but the M3 as well. And a lot of you have had some awesome comments back about the comparisons with just what you are getting with the three different 3 Series that are available. The M340 is basically right in the middle, that sweet spot between giving you performance, but also giving you a practical daily driver. So if you want to take a look at the comparison with this against the M3 as well as the 330, take a look at those separate videos. But with the M340, you have quite a lot. You have a lot of options. This model here is more on the base side. MSRPs are right around the $64,000 mark, so we don't have too many options for this particular model, but nonetheless, we still have a lot of power. We also have rear-wheel drive. So it is going to be slightly slower on its 0 to 60 time versus the all-wheel drive model. But as we give it an acceleration here, it's still going to be quick, sounds good in Sport Plus, and the pedals are also very responsive. So you can't really go wrong either way, just depending on what you want. Personally, I would probably go with the all-wheel drive model just to get a little bit of extra grip, especially if you plan on modding the vehicle, you'll be able to put that power down much better. But as far as driving the M340 goes, this is a great daily driver. A lot of people from my comparison with the M3 said that they would probably go with the 340 if money wasn't a problem. If you could get the M3, they'd go with the 340 just for the daily driving. The rear-wheel drive here as well also gets better MPG. So if that is something that is really important for you, rear-wheel drive is going to be much better than all-wheel drive, and of course better than the M3. And we're still in sport mode. We'll go to second gear. Here we go. And a mild acceleration. We are up to speed. Again, paddles are very responsive. I like the sizing of them too. They have a good size to them so that we can easily get them on both sides. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the new M340i. A really nice place to be. Now, one comment I do want to address, I've seen a lot of people saying they would like to go with the 340 if it had a manual transmission. I think that would be really neat to see from BMW. They've reserved that for the M3, of course, but I think that would be neat to see a manual 340. It's just something that I don't think is quite as popular with BMW owners, and maybe it's just something they reserve for the true M cars and not the M Lite like this, because the BMW 240i does not have a manual, but the M2 has the manual option. So I guess I could see it would be neat, but you do have to go up to the M3 if you do want that manual transmission. But regardless, super fun vehicle to drive, and you do have a lot of options that you can go with. So if you want to spec more options, you have the option to do that. You don't have quite as many as the 3 or the M3. You do get a few more options compared to the 330. So again, it's that nice sweet spot. And for the price, it's pretty competitive with some of the other competitors in this price point and what they offer. And personally, I would go with the M340 if I had to compare to other brands. I know the large curved screen isn't for everyone, but it's growing on me as far as all the controls and how everything works. And if you're not, again, looking for a large vehicle, hopefully we can do this without having to back up. Pretty tight in the turning there, which is nice. And then as we get back up to speed, it sounds good too in sport mode, and you can just quiet it down in comfort or eco mode and just have a normal luxury SUV or sedan to drive here. So very sporty, very practical. It's a good option to go with. I could see why it's popular. Personally, I would go with the M3. I like that added performance, but you really can't go wrong with this. And with the engine and the platform for this, if modding and tuning is something that you are interested in, you have a lot of support for the 340. So this is a great vehicle, and it just has a lot to offer. That's going to wrap it up for the 2025 BMW M340i. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this model for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.